Happy Friday, everybody. It is the weekend. Oh my goodness, I forgot to turn off the fan. And I think this was a problem that we had last week. So I'll just get up, come around here and turn this off. But looks like the video is working and the audio is working, which are both important things that were not in place last week. Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to be here with you today. Tonight, we're going to be working on my designer mystery block. This is from the 2023 designer mystery quilt from Fat Quarter Shop. And this is block number 7. I do have all of my pieces starched and cut out according to the pattern instructions. So I won't be giving you the cutting instructions. I'm just going to show you how I'm putting it together. Are you guys ready for the weekend? Because it's a long weekend and it's already jam-packed for me. Things have a way of happening last minute. So before the last minute stuff crept in, I will tell you, I already had a packed weekend. Tomorrow evening, I'll be doing a live stream right here on my channel with Donna from Handmade by Ying. We're going to be putting together month number 3 for the Sewology block of the month. So make sure to come over tomorrow night and watch us put that together. And then Sunday, Mary, it's either her last day or she's leaving Virginia. I'm not sure if she's leaving on Sunday or Monday or what's going on, but Sunday's kind of down a little bit, although my stepson will be coming home to stay the night because Monday's a holiday. And then Monday, I'm doing a live stream with Tiffany, and we're going to be putting together Lisa the Unicorn by Elizabeth Hartman. Spoiler alert, she has already tested the pattern and put several of the blocks together, and she'll be doing another one on the live stream. I haven't even pulled my fabric yet. So there's that. And all of that on top of the other things that I've got in my head that I want to do to help prepare some content that's coming. And literally just an hour ago, my daughter walked in from saxophone lesson and said, "Hey, there's a saxophone symposium, is that the right way to say it, at George Mason University tomorrow. I want to go." My daughter very rarely asks to go do things in public, so I'm dropping everything and we're going to go hear a bunch of musicians play different arrangements. Her saxophone instructor is actually in an arrangement. He's going to be playing at 11 o'clock and he's got an hour-long set. So we're going to go support Marty and we're going to let her meet some other musicians and just have a blast. So lots of stuff to do this weekend. So I'm really excited that I'll get to kick off the weekend doing a little bit of me time working on some of my projects. All right. Let's kick it off with a joke. I gotta tell you, I have been watching this guy, Ryan Trahan. I've been watching him for years, but recently, in the past couple of years, he started doing these penny series where he does a fundraiser usually, and the whole duration of the fundraiser, he uploads one video a day for whatever that length of time is, whether it's 7 days, 28 days, 31 days, whatever the case may be. And that whole series starts with just a penny. And it's basically like he has to trade up, right? So he might be trading the penny up to try to get from Europe back home, or might be trading the penny up to buy a house that he's going to donate to charity. And all the while he's doing it, he's asking you to donate. And if you make donations, I think he matches some of it or something like that. You'd have to go check out his channel to see what it is. But there was an older one, about 6 months old, that I hadn't seen, and he was in Europe trying to get back to the US. And all of the money that he used to get back to the US had to come from that one penny at the beginning of the series, right? So one of the things that he did to earn money is he'd make a sign and he'd go into a park area and he'd say, I bet you $1 I can make you laugh, right? So people would come up and he'd tell them a joke, and if they laughed, they had to give him $1. And if they didn't laugh, they didn't have to pay anything. So he just has clips of him just reiterating these dad jokes. And I was like, that's a really neat way. Like, insert $1, get a dad joke. And some of them were really funny. I caught myself snickering and chuckling to myself for a couple of them. And one of them has stuck with me. I've already told this to a couple of people. But the joke is, why is Prince Charles all wet? And then you pause and you wait for somebody to answer. And because there's a 30-second delay, I'm not going to wait for you to answer. I'm just going to tell you the answer. Because he's the reigning monarch. These jokes are silly and stupid, and I love them. So I'm really excited. I'm just really excited to tell that joke. So I don't know where I was going with that. If you're looking for some fun, wholesome content to check out on YouTube, highly suggest Ryan Trahan, R-Y-A-N. Last name is T-R-H-A-N, I think. He has a couple of channels on there. His main channel is the one that has like 10 million subscribers or something. And that's where all of his main content is. But I am going to give you a little piece of advice. I followed him for years. And several years ago, when I first found him and was following him, I had to stop watching his videos because the camera wouldn't sit still long enough for me to actually enjoy the content. I liked his on-screen mannerisms. I liked watching him. I liked his personality, but the camera kept moving and I would get motion sick so bad that I would have to go literally take a nap or sleep the entire night. And then the next day it would reset itself. It was really bad. Too much movement. So I unfortunately I had to stop watching his videos for a while, but that's no longer the case. So my point to you is, if you see any videos that are more than like 4 years old, don't watch them if you have a problem with motion sickness, because I do, and I can't watch those. But all of his new stuff is great. So let's say hi to a few people in the chat. We've got Katie, the Greenland quilter, is here. Gourmet Law says, please tell us more about the containers you are using to hold your fat quarters or charm packs to your left. They look like clear containers. Yes, these are the medium bins from Bright Idea. It's a Target brand. It's in the bathroom storage. They're the medium containers. Shelby said, that was a good dad joke. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Looks like Pat Strawhouse is here with us as well. So is Stephanie Harris. And Nancy Jean thought this was a very funny joke. Awesome. Nancy Tello, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Nancy says, hello, Becca. I'm so glad I found you and Tiffany. I'm new to quilting. You do a wonderful job giving me inspiration to tell myself I can do this. Thank you so much. You can do this. Oh, look, In Quilt Fact is here. Hello. So you guys got to check out this channel. If one of the moderators could drop In Quilt Fact, all one word, she's in the chat, go grab her channel and drop it in the live chat. In fact, anybody that has a channel, just put a heart in the live chat and my moderators will do a wonderful job of grabbing your link and putting it in there. And we'll do this again probably about 9 o'clock. But I'm telling you, In Quilt Fact is a new channel she just started. She's so funny. I've watched a couple of her videos and I've been enamored with her personality, and she's given me a couple of chuckles. So check her out. I think you're going to like what you see. It looks like we've also got Susan Munger says, congratulations, Becca, on 25,000 subscribers. Thank you. So excited. My goal for this year is 40. I want to hit 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's very scary to put that number out there and to speak it into existence. There's lights on my husband's car. He must be going somewhere. It's very scary to speak that out there because I don't want to fail at this. And this is something that is completely out of my control, sort of. I can put out content that I find entertaining, engaging, exciting, and is trending, but ultimately I can't click subscribe 40,000 times. So I'm looking to get 15,000 more subscribers before December 31st, 2024. So if you know a quilter out there that likes watching YouTube videos, I would love it if you would share my channel with them. Thank you. All right, let's see what else we have in the chat. Donna is here from Handmade by Ying. And Quilt Queen Shelley is here. Karen Brunette is here. I see lots of people here. Okay. Hello. If I didn't say hi to you, it's not because I don't love you. I love you all. I think hubby is going to return a mailbox. Let me tell you what happened before I dive into the project today. This is so sad. Funny, sad, whatever. So when we moved into this home, there's a mailbox at the end of our driveway. It's a very long driveway, so we do have to walk all the way down to get the mail. Our old house had the mailbox attached to the front of the home right by the front door. This one's a little different. It's out in the woods. It's more rural feeling, or is it urban? I always get those two words confused, but it's more country feeling. So things are laid out that way. The mailbox that we had at the end of the driveway was on a post that was a little tilted, and the mailbox looked a little worse for wear, and it was something that I wanted to replace, and I told Jason I'd love to replace it, but we just never did. And so we've been here for about 2 years, and the mailbox is still there. Well, Thursday morning, I had a bit of a migraine, so I decided to work from home on Thursday instead of today, Friday, and when I was getting up, Jason was already gone. He was taking Zoe to school. He drives her to and from school every day. He was gone, and I heard this kunk kunk. I keep my window in my bedroom cracked. I like the cool breeze to come in while I'm sleeping so I can lay under 50,000 quilts. And I heard a very loud, like, kunk kunk. It was like a loud bang sound. And I thought, oh, I wonder if a tree fell or something, or maybe it's the wildlife, but that was really big sound. I don't know what it was. And I went on about my day. Jason comes home from dropping Zoe off and he said, well, we don't have a mailbox anymore. We don't know what happened. We don't know if somebody was on their phone and swerved off the road, or maybe we made someone mad and they decided to take a bat to it. We have no idea. But somehow they knocked off part of the post that the mailbox was attached to, and the big metal mailbox that we had was on the other side of the road, dented up. So we needed a new mailbox. There was no salvaging that one. So what Jason has been working on today is putting a new post in with a new mailbox. Everything's new. And he's a little disappointed because he got this mailbox, he opened it up, and he's laid the concrete, he has a post in the concrete, he's waiting for it to dry, and he was going to mount it tomorrow. So he's getting all of his hardware ready. He opens up the mailbox and he realizes they didn't include the little flag to let the mail person know that there's mail inside the box. And they only included one of the 2 bolts that you need to attach said flag. So he just packed it up and he's driving back up to Home Depot tonight so that he can return it and get one that has all the parts for tomorrow. He was not looking forward to doing that tonight, but that's why he pulled out of the driveway. So was it snowing? Snow plows love mailboxes, Mona said. No, we haven't had any snow here yet. Thank God. Knock on wood. Please, Jesus, keep the snow to yourself. I don't want it. So, yeah, it was not a snow plow. Don't know who it was. Don't know who it was. Don't know anything. I will tell you, just say you want 1 million subscribers by the end of the 2020s, then 40,000 will sound reasonable and modest to you. Julie, that's a great idea. I want 1 million subscribers by the end of 2029. There you go. Jason does have, our neighbor was outside in his front yard lingering at his trash cans for a little while Jason was fidgeting with the post. And he was like, he didn't come over and say hi to me. He didn't say, oh, I accidentally did it. He didn't say anything. He just sat there and watched me, and it was awkward. He was like, it was one of those things I was like, did you do this? So I doubt he did it. But either way, Jacqueline says they've got 2 to 4 inches in Royal Oak. Hello, Joyce. Ellen says we have a foot of the snowy stuff forecasted for tonight and tomorrow. Nope, I don't want it. You can keep it. Donna has lots of snow and she can keep all of it too. Christine said for Christmas, I bought mom and dad a motion detection device for their mailbox so they don't have to walk up the 45-degree driveway to check the mail and find none. Ooh, that's a great idea. I like that. I also like the idea of putting a motion detection device at the start of our driveway so we can be alerted when somebody's coming down the drive, just because we've got puppies and stuff, and that'd be kind of neat. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get to the overhead setup so that I can start working on this project. Like I said, I've already got all of my pieces starched, cut out, and labeled according to the pattern instructions. So I'm going to set this. Where's my little There it is, my pattern mount. I'm going to set my pattern mount up here. Goodness, this is supposed to be an easy notion, and I have a hard time. I don't even know what's going on. Just going to put this up here out of the way so that you can't see it because I don't want to give away the pattern, but I can. So ha 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 ha, I can see it. All right, let's see, what do we got? All right, the first step that we're going to do is take our E, C, and G fabrics and make 2 4-patches. And those, E is the small squares of this, small squares of this, and small squares of this to make 2 4-patches. And the way it looks like it's going to lay it out is we're going to have like this, just like that. So we're going to do 2 units this way. And I'll take it over here to tell us more about this pattern mount. Donna wants to know. This is from, I'll show it to you. I don't have a link for it, but it is from Purple Hobbies. If you guys don't know what Purple Hobbies is, amazing entrepreneur. They hand make everything in their shop. I can put a link in the description box below. I think it's an affiliate link as well for this thing. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. Basically, it's just a little 3D printed item that has a lip in here, and you can put a pattern or some sheets of paper in here, and it holds it just like this so that you can do what you need to do. It's amazing for me. I love it. And it kind of keeps it held up out of the way so that I can work with it. So anyway, that's the pattern mount. Where is Mufasa at tonight? He is sleeping draped over the long arm. I will pull him back out in the next couple of days. My goal is to work on row G. I've got 2 more rows to do for him, and I want to get them both done by the end of this month. So next week, I will very likely be working on Mufasa during the live stream. This week, I wanted to work on my designer mystery quilt because I have block number 7 here and block number 8 is about ready to ship. So I want to make sure that I stay caught up with this. I've got, at least for January and February, I've got lots of little projects that I'm working on, but I have 2 big projects that I want to get finished. So in January, I want Mufasa to be fully pieced. And then in February, I want my panda quilt that I'm making for Mary to be fully pieced. Christine says, my friend's mailbox was taken out by fast drivers missing the curve. He put bricks back together without concrete to limit damage to cars and possible life. Cool idea. That is a great idea. Our mailbox is just on a wooden post, but that's a really neat idea just to make something that if you run into it, it'll just topple over. What light do you have on the back of Bubba? So this is a Caterpillar light that I will also put a link for in the description box down below after the video is over. It's a little glow light. I got it for free at a quilt show a couple years ago when I bought my Caterpillar cutting mat. They gave it to me as a freebie, and I thought it was great. I think they did. Maybe I bought it. I don't know. They gave it to me. I love it. I love it so much. I bought a couple more. They're on order. I'm waiting to get them. All right, so for both of these, we're going to press the fabric underneath the non-white fabric. So I'm just going to finger press first while my iron heats up. And while the ironing is heating up, let me tell you my fun story about my iron. So I was starching my fabric tonight, getting ready to cut everything before the live stream, and this beautiful white fabric that I have here, when it came off of the ironing board, there were spots that were not white. It looked like it had been scorched, but the iron wasn't left on the fabric long enough to scorch it. So I have no idea how it turned brown, tan, whatever. It wasn't black, but it was lightly discolored. So I was like, that's odd. Maybe it's time to clean the iron. So I went and got a hand towel and I folded it up in fours so that it was nice and stacked. And I set it up here on my pressing board. You're going to know why it's a different color in a minute. I set it up on this and I put that paste on the towel. It's the same stuff that I've used before. It's this iron cleaner. I love this stuff. This is great. I drew a line on the paper, on the hand towel, just like I've done a million times before. And as soon as I put the iron down onto it, just black gunk. Like there must have been stuff up in the holes where the steam comes out. Even though I don't put water in my iron and I don't use steam, there must have been stuff up in there just from like starch residue and whatever. There was stuff caked down the sides of the iron. It took me 3 hours to get this iron clean, but it is finally clean. But for a good little bit there, I thought for sure I was going to have to buy a new iron because no matter what I did, it kept spitting brown stuff. And whenever I would turn it on, it was steaming really, really bad. I couldn't get it to stop steaming. Eventually what I did is I unplugged it, I let it cool down, and then I took it into the kitchen and I scrubbed it with an old toothbrush, rinsed it off, dried it, did it again, rinsed it off, dried it, did it again, and now it's fine. But gosh, it was a whole thing, and I was pretty sure I was going to have to buy a new iron. I was like, wait a minute, this is horrible. The iron still functionally works. It's just really, really dirty, and that's the reason I'm gonna have to buy a new iron. That's not fair. I don't want to give away I don't want to replace an iron that functionally is working. So, hello, 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 Sean. Welcome to the live stream. Mary is here as well. Susan Gabriel says, when I moved to a rural area, I went through 3 mailboxes in 2 years. My neighbor had a piece of a telephone pole. He helped me set that up, and I haven't had a problem since. That's neat. All right, so we've made our we haven't made our 4 patches. We've made our 2 patches that we're going to turn into 4 patches. So let's finish those. We're going to put this piece on top and this piece on bottom, and we just need to make sure that the whites are going diagonal to each other. If we followed the pressing instructions in the pattern, those seams will nest perfectly. And then we're just going to stitch with 1/4 inch. Hello, Lynn from the UK. Becca, take a mist bottle and spray it with water while it's in the hot, I'm guessing you're meaning while it's hot, in the holes, and that helped clean mine out. That's kind of what I ended up doing. Oh no, Marie says her Panasonic is leaking. Listen, Marie, this Panasonic I thought was leaking too, but I realized what was happening is I was getting liquid up under the side, and that was kind of coming down out the bottom. Maybe it is leaking. I don't think it is, but I don't put moisture into my iron at all, so I just I always use it as a hot dry iron. So conceptually, a leaking iron should be fine for me. But I know a lot of people like to use irons with steam, and I've heard that from a lot of folks where eventually the iron starts to leak liquid and they have to replace the iron. Hello from Southwest Virginia, Morgan says. Morgan, where are you at in Southwest Virginia? Linda says, I lost 2 mailboxes, one to an M80 that a drive-by carload of high school grads put in it. Oh my gosh. Other boxes in the area were also destroyed. Second one by a flying pumpkin tossed from a speeding car. Goodness. Your machine is so quiet compared to some others. Donna, that is all technology. She is just as loud as the same machine that Tiffany sews on. I just use technology to amplify my voice and minimize background noise. Makes it a little bit easier to hear, right? Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're going to take these units and we're going to make 4 half square triangle units. So to do that, we're going to put them right sides together. You could mark this if you want, but I'm going to use my diagonal seam tape. Ooh, that's not right. Hold on. I think I have the wrong piece. It's about a 1/4 inch smaller. And there was a piece of scrap that was just about the same size as what I needed. And I think I put the piece that I need in here away instead of the piece that was scrap. Yep, there we go. There we go. By the way, if you're ever curious, like, look at all this scrap that I got for this one block. I can make this block probably 2 or 3 more times. It's crazy. Crazy in a good way. Highly recommend. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do it this way. I was looking for a place to put my cup and I couldn't find one. I just realized if I put that bin on top of my trash can right there, then I can set my cup right there and it's out of the way, but still within reach. How about that? All right. Actually, I think I am going to mark because this is longer than my diagonal seam tape. So I'm just going to grab my ruler. We're going to use this one because that'll go all the way through. And I only have to mark 2 pieces of fabric, so might as well. Plus, if anybody's curious how to make half square triangle units, this is the method that I was taught, and this is how I started. It's the 2 at a time method. If you don't know what it is I'm doing here, basically I've taken 2 squares that are the same size. They are about 1/2 inch bigger than what I want to square my half square triangle units up to. So if I wanted my half square triangle units to square to 2.5 when it was done, I would want about 3 inches. My rule of thumb is I cut about another 1/4 inch bigger so I have room to square down. So I would cut like 3.25 or 3.5, maybe even a full inch bigger if you're a beginner. But you put them right sides together, you draw a line from one corner all the way down to the other corner, and then you take it to your sewing machine and you stitch a 1/4 inch away from that drawn line. Then you cut them apart on that drawn line, press them open, and square them up. There are tons of ways to make half square triangle units. This is just one of the ways, and it is the method that I prefer. Ooh, happy anniversary, Nancy. We're going to remove this noise suppression so that you can hear the sewing machine a little bit in the background. If the machine is a little too much, just let me know and I'll fix it. I don't think it'll be terribly loud. Ooh, homemade biscuits. That sounds delicious. Hey, Fallon. I heard Fallon launched a new product on her Wednesday night live stream. It is one of her trim lock rulers, but it is designed for straight line quilting at your domestic machine. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check out her live stream from Wednesday night and you'll see her demonstrating that product. Hi, Tanya. Okay, for this one, it wants us to press the fabric down to that dark blue. Have you ever done 32 half square triangle units at a time? You mean from the same two pieces of fabric? No, but if I needed to, I would use the triangles on a roll to do that. That sounds like it would probably be easier for me that way, because then you don't have to square them up. You just follow the instructions on the paper and you're good to go. But there's probably a method to sew around 4 sides of a square and cut it. I don't know, whatever. 32 at one time. Good grief. That's a lot of HSTs. Joan says, Becca, I saw your lion today. It's looking gorgeous. It's really coming together. Yeah, I'm really excited with how Mufasa's coming together. Quite pleased, quite pleased. That black background, I feel like makes the lion look more realistic. I think the original lion with that green background makes it look a little bit cartoonish. I feel like now he looks a little bit more photorealistic. Wow, you did the 32 at a time and it got finished today. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Mushroom, barley soup, and homemade bread on the menu for tomorrow. That sounds delicious. I feel like that's still a little damp. Let me give it some more heat. There we go. There we go. These do need to be squared up, so I'm going to use my big ruler to do that because I feel like the 8x12 ruler you can use to do pretty much anything. I'm going to use this to square it down to what the pattern says. To trim your half square triangle unit block, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I'm finding the 45-degree line on my ruler, and I'm setting that directly on the seam where those two fabrics come together. And then I am checking for the measurement on here that I want it to square up to. I'm trimming the top and the right, and then I'll turn it around and do the other two sides. So like that. The most important thing is that that 45-degree line starts in a corner and ends in a corner. If you're wobbly at all, the best place to be wobbly is in the middle. You want these corners to start. You want the diagonal to start and end in a corner. That's what's going to help preserve your point. Tana said, the eyes are drop dead gorgeous and so realistic. You're killing it, girl. Thank you. I cannot wait to see him quilted. Oh, Susan says, Becca, be glad you're not back in Michigan tonight. Winter storm is coming through. Then the single digit temperatures starting Monday. Ian sent me a picture earlier, and he literally caught, like, I fell for it. It was an image that had like a map, and it said winter storm flowing through and it's going to be crazy or something like that. But the map just had a bunch of crayon scribbles all over it. And I thought for a moment when I first looked at it, I thought it was actual markings from like a weather map. And it wasn't until I opened up the image and looked at it for a minute that I realized it was crayon scribblings. I will say that's probably the one downside to not having cable anymore. We cut the cord for cable when we moved in here, and we haven't looked back since, but we don't get the local news. We don't watch any of that. So you guys are all telling me about the winter storms that are passing through, and this is my first time hearing about it. So there you go. Earlier this week, we had a lot of wind and a lot of rain. And I was talking to some friends, and they all had wind and rain and snow, and it was bad where they were. And I was like, oh, there's a system moving through. I had no clue. I am oblivious. I don't pay attention. Ambivalent? No, that's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is. There we go. So now these are all squared up. Thank you for dropping in Quilt Fex YouTube channel, Donna. I appreciate that. All right, these are squared and starched and flat and ready to go. So now we're going to make some more. Yay! We're going to take 3 of our background and 3 of our pink and make 6 total half square triangle units. So there's going to be 3 sets that we're going to do the same thing to, but they're just going to square up smaller. Tracy says, we don't have regular TV either, but I have 2 different weather apps that I keep an eye on. I should keep an eye on the weather app, and I've not been. Sweetheart Creation says, Becca, I appreciate the fun spirit you bring to your channel. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Ha ha! Oh, goodness. Amazon Fire Stick. Well, we do have Samsung TV. We have smart TVs, and we can watch some channels on the Samsung TV. I just never do. Honestly, though, I'm not a TV person. I like the TV to be on for the background noise. I don't really like watching TV. There are some shows that I do like watching, but I can't sit still long enough. If I'm not doing something else while TV or movies are playing, I will fall asleep, or I will get very, very bored and just walk out of the room. Occasionally, though, there are movies or TV shows that I get really interested in, and it'll capture my interest, and I'll watch the whole thing all the way through. But most of the time, I'm multitasking. I think it drives my husband crazy, because when we're watching a movie together or watching TV together, he really wants me to have the phone put away, the tablet put away, and just watch the show with him. I don't know if he realizes just how big of an act of love that is for me to do. I do it, and I don't complain, but it takes a lot, a lot of focus. And it's not even electronics. It's not that I'm addicted to my phone. I could also have some knitting or some hand embroidery or some crochet or some big stitch quilting or some beading or just something to occupy my hands and allow me to look at and work on. But that still even kind of sets the precedent that you're not really there and paying attention to the show, or you're missing something. And I get what he's talking about, because there's a couple of times where I've watched movies with him and I'm like, oh, you're missing it. Watch, watch, watch. It's the same concept. So we deal with that by just understanding what my limit is for TV. It is much smaller than what his is, and we work around that threshold. We're very strategic about the shows that we watch together. We watch those together. He will not watch them without me, and I don't watch them without him because I don't really watch TV. A lot of times I'm turning on documentaries or old sitcom reruns. Those are my go-tos. True crime, documentaries, and old sitcom. Speaking of documentaries, I got to finish it. I started it. It was really good, and I want to go back and finish listening to it. It was long. Spoiler alert. I may have started it when I went upstairs to take a nap while I was having a migraine. I figured I could listen to it. I did. I fell asleep, so I need to go back and watch more of it. Anyway, it's a documentary that I think is on Hulu, but it might be on Peacock. I can't remember. But it's a documentary about Lady Bird Johnson. Is that, gosh, why am I blanking on Lady Bird's last name? Lyndon Johnson, Lucy, it's Johnson, right? Lady Bird. She did, apparently after Kennedy passed and her husband took office, she was encouraged by one of her staff members to record a vocal diary. So I think it's called like the Lady Bird Diaries or something like that. And she has like 132 hours of audio tape just detailing their time in the White House and all of that stuff. And it's just amazing this documentary is so well done. It's grabbed footage from that time, and then what they've done is overlaid on top of it her audio recordings. Nobody's narrating. Lady Bird's narrating it. She's just like her audio recordings are playing over top of it. And it's just, I just really, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was really well done. I can't wait to finish it. Yes, Johnson. Got it. The Lady Bird Diaries on Hulu. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy. By the way, Sean, how are you feeling? You weren't up to snuff last weekend. You were coming down with something. Are you feeling better this weekend? Joni, you can have my snow. Carolyn's giving snow away. Hello, Maritza. I love that name, Maritza. That's so cool. Laura says, I can't sit and just watch TV. I have to be doing something with my hands. I crochet or do hand sewing if the TV is on. Yes. Our front room doesn't have a lot of good light for crafts. So the other thing that I've done is bought, I think Kimberly Jelly has used this. I know she's used the thing that she puts on the side of her glasses and it like does spotlights. I bought the one that wraps around your neck and it's flexible and you have 3 levels of brightness that you can shine down onto your project. I use that because I need extra light in the front room. You're improving each day. You still have a cough, but not as bad. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Jane Bull, thank you so much for subscribing. What is the name of the pen you are using? This is the Acorn Easy Press Pen. It basically is just a marker that holds starch. You can put Best Press in there or the Acorn Easy Pressing Solution, whatever you want. It helps your seams lay super, super flat. I'm overdoing it by drawing it on a block that just has one seam, but it has really, for me, just become a muscle memory thing, and I get a little bit of satisfaction out of doing it. So there you go. And I'm even using a clapper, and I don't need to. I don't need to use a clapper for these blocks, but as I said, it's become a muscle memory thing because this is very much what I am doing for foundation paper piecing. It is how I am getting all of my Mufasa blocks to lay super flat. Even those really, really bulky seams, they're super flat. It's a combination of the clapper, high heat, and this bad boy. It deceptively looks full because I've not gone through and actually pressed the seams when I've joined the rows together, but the blocks themselves, forget about it. Just Crafting Around says, I just joined. What are you working on? I am putting together block number 7 for the 2023 Designer Mystery Quilt from Fat Quarter Shop. I'm going to get a smaller ruler really quick because that one's too big to be working with those small pieces. And I'm looking for, here it is, my small Quilter Select ruler. Sean, are you doing brekkie tomorrow? Who do you have on? Who's your guest tomorrow? And Donna, I think Donna's doing a live starting at 9:30 tonight. Donna, what are you working on? Bye, Marie. Feel like I need to scoot this up a little bit so that you can see more of what I'm doing. So Terry says, do you do any hand sewing? I'm starting to play. Gotta look at my measurement. Hold on. She says, I'm starting to play with hand sewing hexies in my downtime. It's all downtime for me, not complaining. I actually really like basting hexies, and my mom likes sewing them together. So what I might do, what I might consider doing while she's here is when we're doing TV time as a family, I may consider taking fabric out to the front room to fussy cut and then baste onto the little hexie papers. Mom doesn't like basting them, but she likes sewing them. So I feel like if I take the time to baste them for her, she could put together a very pretty quilt. And she does like to hand sew. She's been looking for projects that she can do sitting on her own couch as well. She's not been super motivated to be in front of the sewing machine lately. I need to get her excited about working on something. She's barely done anything on the sewing machine. Lori is asking, what time does brekkie with Sean start? I believe it's 8 a.m. Eastern time over on Sean's channel. You can do exclamation Sean, S-E-A-N in the chat. I'll get you a link to his channel. I think I'm going to have to change my blade soon or later. Hello, Suzanne. Lenny says, in quilt fact, I just joined your channel yesterday. I love your enthusiasm. Susie, actually, Donna calls her Jersey. Well, I guess the whole group calls her Jersey. Susie's the one that found her and told us about her, and I went over and checked it out. I was like, okay, she's funny. I think this is cute. What is a hexagon a Y seam, if I said that right? I think hexagons require Y seams if you're doing them by machine, but I honestly don't know because I don't sew hexies. A Y seam, though, is where you have, let me see if I can show you here. I'll show you with this fabric. Think of it like you end up kind of like with something like this, where this is put on together for, I think this is a Y seam, where this is already sewn and then you got to add this in. The whole idea is that you leave about a 1/4 inch flap undone here, add this here, and then sew it. I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to explain something that I don't think I know, so I'm just going to stop trying to talk like I know what I'm talking about. Yes, you can, Katie. Katie's saying I can't post links. Yes, you can. I see when you posted Stephanie Harris, that's a link on my end. I had the same problem before where it looked like I couldn't post links. On my end, it wasn't a link, but for everybody else, it was. Happened when I was on Ian's live stream last week or the week before. Oh, that is it? We can talk and have some coffee or tea or something stronger. Wait, hold on. I'm so honored you like my channel. You have to stop by when we go live. We can talk or have tea or something stronger. I will have coffee or tea. I don't really do anything stronger than that. My go-tos are water, tea. If I do coffee, I only do 1 cup a day, and most of the time I don't even finish it. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. I like tea, and occasionally I want the carbonation from a soda. So we buy the miniature cans of soda, like the 6 ounces. We don't even buy the 12-ounce ones. And we always get like the Coke Zeros or whatever. Probably shouldn't drink those, but you probably shouldn't drink the full-on Coke either. So, yeah, that's kind of what I do. I will tell you my trick though. I have a hack. So there's a place out of Lorton, Virginia, not too far from here, called, what is it called? It's a tea company. I can't remember. But they make these tea bags that are bigger than a normal tea bag. They put their tea inside of it, and they put crystallized honey in it, which it adds as a natural sweetener. It's just crystallized honey in the tea. And then you put that down and you make your cup of tea, and they have a flavor that I just discovered. I've shopped from them for a while, but they have a flavor that I just learned about back in October when I went to the quilt show, and it is delicious. And the lady that was working in the booth mentioned that she liked to use that in ice water instead of steeping it in hot water. So I take 2 or 3 of those bags and put them in my Stanley cup, which holds like 40 ounces of water. And I'll put some ice down in there, and I'll let it steep cold for a little while. And it's so good. So good. So Quilting Compound says I drink it all. All right, so those are squared up. We have all 6 of them. Let's see what we're going to do next. Oh, surprise, we're going to make 2 more half square triangle units, and then we should get to the point where we're actually assembling the block. These 2 are going to go together, and we're going to do this the same way that we did the others. And Quilt Fact says, Becca, I drink a lot of coffee. My dad had a coffee farm. Give me mine black with 1 stevia. Jason, my husband, has been drinking his black lately. He's switched away from the creamers, and I don't know. Like I was never really a big coffee fan. I just didn't really get it. So I like a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar. That's how I like my coffee. And if I'm being completely honest, I would much rather have a latte with oat milk or almond milk from any coffee place over a brewed coffee. Donna says, suggestion for mom, mini quilts for NICU babies. Gives lots of practice for many different block designs, use up scraps, and great community service. I've done 10 this week. That's an awesome idea. In fact, she was actually just asking me today about doing quilt as you go. She was like, hey, have you ever done quilt as you go on a quilt? And I was like, are you serious? Oh. And she was like, why? Why is it a problem? And I was like, well, it's like this. If you're doing quilt as you go, it's usually because you don't want to wrangle the bulk of the quilt. And I don't know that I would love the way a quilt would look and feel if I did quilt as you go blocks and then joined them, because I don't know that I would know how to join them the right way to make them look good. However, I started thinking about ways that I could do it that might be okay. You could use some decorative stitches on it. I was thinking about ways that maybe I could help her do some quilt as you go blocks, especially if it was just for like a NICU quilt or something. It doesn't need to be a whole lot of them. But the other thing that I told her, or I've been considering, is giving her like a jelly roll and some backing and some batting, securing the backing and the batting together, and then just letting her piece the jelly roll strips onto the backing and batting, which is quilt as you go. And then when you're done, you can square it up and bind it. A pot of coffee a day for you, Lori. No water for me. Hey, there's water in coffee. It is awkward to join the blocks, right, Michelle? Though my thought is, what if I did quilt as you go blocks, squared them up, and then join them, lay them next to each other, and join them with a zigzag, But then to cover up the zigzag, take some sashing, fold in the two sides so the raw edges are together or like hidden, and then use a decorative stitch on either side. That would work, but I wonder how that piece where the two blocks are going to come together is going to feel. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to give that a try and see how that would work. I'll have to let you know if it's something I would recommend. Right now what she's doing is I've got a bunch of orphan blocks that I've created over the years, and I have sandwiched them with some backing and some scrap batting, and I even did some really light quilting on it just to hold the layers together, stitch in the ditch quilting just to hold the layers together. And she's going through and doing hand quilting with a size 12 with 12 weight thread. And I think she's just doing it through that top layer since all three layers are already quilted. She's just doing it as decorative stitches just to give her something to do with her hands. Water break. All right. By the way, how's the machine sound when I was sewing? Did it sound okay? Was it too loud? Janny says quilt as you go has been the only method I've used since learning to quilt a year ago. All right, all of my half square triangle units are made. So now we're going to start building out our block. We're going to make 2 of these units, and it does say to pay close attention to unit placement. So we need 1 of these half square triangle units in the center. We're going to set this up with 2 in the pile because we're going to make 2 of them. Set this over here. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, we've got to make 2 4 patches. And it says to pay close attention to the placement of this as well. So we need this one to be in the upper right, lower left, upper left. So we're going to make 2 4 patches that look like that. Sounded fine. Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. There are a few different tricks to attach quilt as you go in the quilt, or quilt as you go quilt. It's all in the sashing. I figured it would be. I might try to find some options for her because I think she would really like making little miniature quilts. If I could just show her how to make a bunch of like 10-inch blocks or something. I also want to help her make a rag quilt. I think she would really like doing that, but I don't know if she's gonna love snipping all of the fabric, the exposed seams, to make it raggy. All right, for this one, we're going to press, okay, we're always pressing over to, no, we're pressing in opposite directions. The arrows didn't look the right way. The 2 with the pink are getting pressed over to the left, and the 2 with the different colors are getting pressed over to the right. And that's going to allow these to nest really nice. Oh, and don't forget, she can rip strips and crochet rag ruds while she's watching TV. She has been not interested in crocheting lately, but I wonder if maybe if I got her some chunky yarn, like some really nice chunky yarn with, I don't think she has her hooks here, but I have a whole assortment of hooks. I wonder if I got her some chunky yarn, if she would want to crochet a big rug for my room. I think that would be great. I honestly think, I told her today, because we all get this. You lose your sojo, you lose your creative juice, right? Usually for me, it happens after I've finished a project. I'm just kind of like, meh. And what usually works for me is instant gratification, or like sense of accomplishment, not instant gratification, but working on a small project that can be a palette cleanser and make me feel like I did something that wasn't long and tedious and drawn out. So in between like the legit kits, because they're big FPP projects and they take me a long time to do, I like to do something that I feel like I can get done really quickly. So I told her she wanted to make one of those Hemingway pouches for her iPad. She was all excited about this in December before she came. I want one for my iPad. I want to make one. Show me how to make one. And she's been here for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and she hasn't. I keep suggesting it. She's like, meh, meh. So I need to just help her get off her bum and try something. She's not been feeling the greatest. She's on a medication that messes with her stomach. She takes it once a week, and after her dosage, she has a couple of days where she has stomach issues. So I think that's part of it too. About the time she's starting to feel good again, it's time for the next dose. All right, so now we're gonna do these together to make our 4-patch. Melissa says, I have everything for the pouches. Everything but the zippers for the pouches. Got it. And moving in with her daughter, it's a big adjustment. Yeah, it's also, she's not living here full time, but I get what you're saying. Like, she's been here before, but she needs some time to adjust. She hasn't needed that in the past. However, Mary's been staying with us. My mother-in-law is with us. She's not been feeling well. I've been working, like it's a whole lot of stuff. So that could all be part of why she needs a little bit of adjustment. I asked her today, I was like, well, is Mary being here, like, is that too much for you? She's like, no, Mary's great. I was like, okay. So I think it's just she's not been sleeping well. New bed, new home. It takes her a little while to adjust. She's starting to come around today. She got up, got dressed, and came upstairs for a while, so we'll see. Just try to get her to do some other craft or something else creative, or maybe just take her to the fabric shop just to look at fabrics. Maybe something there will spark at her. She does not like going shopping for fabrics or yarn. It overwhelms her. There's too many choices. She gets a little bit anxious and a little bit nervous being in a fabric shop. People want to know if Mom wasn't lurking. Probably not. Julie says, Stephen Bland was just talking about finishing a small palette cleanser quilt. Fast and easy, nothing tedious. Yep, I agree. Smart idea. Smart idea, Stephen. Absolutely. 100%. What are you putting on before ironing? This is the Acorn Easy Press Pen. It's a little marker that holds starch inside of it. It helps my seams lay nice and flat. So the combination of drawing a line of starch on the block, applying heat, and putting the clapper on top of it helps that lay really, oh, that's a pretty block. Like, I like the way it looks. Sometimes the design pops out at you when you look at it through a picture of the camera, and that's what just happened here. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Hello, Ian. Welcome to the live stream. We were talking about you. Not really. All right, so now we're going to build out our 2 rows. So we're going to take our 2 half-square triangle units that look like this, put them in the middle. We have 2 units here like this, and 2 units here that look like this. We're going to sew 2 of those together and press them in towards the middle. Louise says, ugh, Trulicity. There are much other there are other oral drugs to take. I feel so much better since I switched. She's not on Trulicity. I think she's on Mounjaro. And it's for diabetes. It's not for weight loss. I know that's a whole thing right now. But I think she tried Trulicity as well and had the same issues. I'm not sure. Fisker's Spring Action Scissors, Donna. Yes, that's what I would recommend, but I know she does have issues with her hands. I think she would do it definitely with those snips. I have those. I just think she would have to take some breaks, and I think that would be okay. I also have a AccuQuilt die that cuts the fabric and cuts the little fringes for you, so we could even pull that out. It just makes a big mess. You're going to have to vacuum the studio afterwards. Ian and I have made some swag stickers to hand out at QuiltCon. We placed our order for them today. So if you are going to QuiltCon and you see us, let us know. Stop by and say hi, because we'll have a limited amount of cute stickers that we'll hand out if you ask us for one. Ian said, were you all talking about how I flew up to Virginia and took a baseball bat to Becca's mailbox? It was you. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. Ian, I got a notification that something shipped from Cotton Cuts today. Did you get a notification that something shipped from Cotton Cuts? Oh, wait. Janny says, oh my, I take that too for the same reasons. Where the injection site is key. I'll have to let her know. Maybe there's a better place that she can take it. Hello, Renee. Lady Fair says, oh, Ian, I thought you tripped and fell into it. Donna says, oh, I didn't know that about the AccuQuilt die. Thanks. You're welcome. I haven't made a rag quilt in a few years. Maybe we'll do that on a live stream soon. Those were all the rage for a minute, and they're so easy to do. Maybe we can work on that next week or something. We'll see. If Mom's up for sewing, maybe we'll do one together. So Terry says, years ago, I caught someone taking a bat to my car because he didn't like that I was parked there so long. That was a fun day. Seriously? That doesn't sound like a fun day. I know you were being sarcastic, but either way. My daughter takes Wachovia for the last 4 or 5 months and has lost about 40 pounds. She looks like my little girl again, and she feels good. It was really a rough start, though. Awesome, Margie. That's great. All of that stuff is in really short supply up here. You can't even get any of it. When Ian was here, he has to take an injection. I can't remember which one he's taking. I think it's Mounjaro. I know he was on Trulicity for a while. Whatever it was, he couldn't get the dosage he needed in the area, and he needed it for not weight loss. So, yeah. Those are all things that I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I have no words. I have no words. I'm kind of leaving it to the folks. I'm staying away from all that stuff because I feel like there are people that need it, medically need it, and I don't want to take away from somebody that needs it for their diabetes care. So, all right, now we're going to sew a row that looks like this. We're going to put this together, and we're going to press these seams out and away from the center. Is the sewing machine too loud when I'm sewing? Is it better when I turned on the filter? I feel like the way I had the filter on before, it took it completely out. I kind of like the sound of the sewing machine. I just don't want it to be really loud. Okay. I got 5 flat Beccas ready to hide at QuiltCon if you can find one. It's no, you don't. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, now I want to make a flat Becca. Like I want to make a meme. That's hilarious. Not at all, Becca. It sounds great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. Not loud, not too loud. Awesome. If it does get too loud, just let me know. Nikki said, I've lost 70 pounds on Mounjaro and now my A1C is under 6. Awesome. Way to go. It's music, not noise. Oh, Carol, I agree. It is a comforting, good, I'm glad. It's a comforting level of noise. I don't want it to be completely gone, but I don't want it to be overpowering either. The sound of a sewing machine is music to my ears. I agree. And it helps fill the dead space because when I'm over here sewing and I'm not talking, at least you're hearing something. All right, now we're going to put this in the middle. Just make sure that these are laid out the right way. And we got to make sure that we have our blocks oriented like this. This is what we're going to sew together. And our seams will be pressed away from that middle row. So this one first. Yvette says, I usually get nauseous the first day, but it gets better. I take Mounjaro for my diabetes, and it's a crapshoot as to if my pharmacy has any in stock. I am so sorry. Oh. I just realized we might have an issue when Mom has to get hers refilled. Her pharmacy down there has them, but you know, she's not down there right now, and that's about 7 hours away. So I guess if we had to, we could drive down and get it. However, there's got to be some place that'll have her medication when it needs to be refilled. Carol says, I am excited. I have several machines, but my husband is buying me a Juki. Awesome. Which model are you getting, Carol? Sheila says, well, if the diabetes meds help you lose weight and prevent you from needing it for diabetes, I am okay with it. If you're trying to go from a size 8 to a size 4, that's selfish. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. 100%. If you're trying to go from a size 18 or bigger, please feel free. But if you're just trying to lose 10 pounds for your reunion, maybe let the diabetics use that. My block is all done. Now I gotta press it. Amazon for your meds? Ooh, when is Amazon gonna start medications? That'd be great. Mary Rose says, I am listening to Rain and sewing machines. Start trying to get it before she needs it. A good tip, Nancy, good tip. I will start calling pharmacies. I'll talk to Mom and find out when her refill is due. Wait, we're pressing this out. Away, away, I tell you. Oh, you're getting the 2010, Carol? Awesome. The same as Tiffany's. You all make me dream about one. Is it the 2010 or is it the industrial that she has that you're getting? Janny says, my goal is to get the Juki 2010 by the end of the year. Hey, if anybody's going to buy a Juki, one of the best ways you could help me out, of course, do whatever is right for you. Get the best deal that's right for you. But if you are looking to buy one, I do have an affiliate link with Juki Junkies, and it won't cost you anything extra, and I'll earn a little commission from that purchase. So consider using my affiliate link if you're buying a new Juki machine or need any accessories for your Juki machine, or maybe just accessories for your machine, because sometimes their accessories aren't just Juki specific. All of my affiliate links, by the way, are on the main page of my website, sobecca.com, and they're always in the description box below every video, if you're curious. I even have an Amazon and an Etsy affiliate link. Did you know that? I have an Etsy affiliate link. You can shop on Etsy and I can earn a commission. Okay, we're going to put the press clapper on that. There's lots of bulk there. No worries, Janny. She said, that is awesome. I just got some thread from them. I wish I knew before I did. Well, you know, for next time. Donna's still here. Donna, you're going live in 15 minutes. What are you doing? What are you working on tonight? Donnell says, OMG, Juki Junkies is amazing to deal with. I sent my Juki to them for a repair and maintenance. They kept in close contact with me the entire time. Yeah. They helped me fix something. They didn't even know who I was. I didn't tell them who I was. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm somebody. That's not what I meant. I called them, said, I have a Juki. I am having troubles with it. Can you help me? They didn't ask me if I bought it from them. They didn't even ask my name. They just started digging right in and troubleshooting it with me. And then eventually my contact information got up to David at Juki Junkies, and he texted with me and sent video clips and pictures and links to some of his videos on his YouTube channel, which, by the way, they have an awesome YouTube channel. Learn everything you need to learn about Juki Junkies over there. I was really impressed with, that was above and beyond. I didn't buy this from them, but they helped me anyway. So highly recommend. Lurking. Oh, you're doing rope bowls. Awesome. What model is yours? It is the 2010Q. It's the same one that Tiffany has. So here is my block. It actually goes this way. Isn't it pretty? So pretty. So that's what I did tonight. This is block number 7. I have seen, it's called the Orchid block, by the way. I have seen some people are taking their blocks and they're automatically putting them into their finishing settings before, as they go. I have not been doing that, but I really ought to consider starting to do that, because the finishing setting for, I did buy the finishing kit. The finishing setting for this quilt is going to take a bit of work. And it's going to be easier to break that down into bite-sized pieces now rather than waiting until the very end. So with Debbie says, I love my Juki TL18. It has a micro lifter and comes with extra feet. Awesome. Hi, Becca. Just tuning into your channel. Where do you purchase your Starch pen? You can get these from Fat Quarter Shop, I believe. You can use my affiliate link for Fat Quarter Shop. It is in the description box below. And then you can just type Acorn Easy Press Pen and they should have them in stock. I will tell you it is, Amazon Wegovy. Amazon has Wegovy? Wow, that's cool. So the Easy Press Pen, I'll tell you right now, it is a little pricey. The pen's really cool and you don't have to fill it with the Acorn solution. I do because I have bottles of the stuff and I'm going through it. But when I run out of that, I'm just gonna put Best Press in there because I buy that by the gallon. So there you go. Janny says, I currently have the DX7. Awesome. What did you apply to the seams before you press? Yes, starch stick. Yep. I mentioned this earlier. Hold on. Okay, it's just the shadow of the fabric behind it. I mentioned this before. I like my blocks to be super flat, and the way I get them to lay flat is by applying starch, using a very, very hot iron, and then once I'm done putting the iron on it, I apply a clapper to it. And I mean, there's lots of points coming in here in these two areas specifically, and it's laying really flat. So there you go. You put best press in your pen. Yep, I'll be doing that too when I run out. Karen says, this weekend my granddaughters, 12 and 14, came over and I had them do the quilt as you go for placemats. My guild is making them for many mansions. Awesome. That's great. I saw that short from Rose City. It was super interesting. Oh, you're talking to Donna. Sorry. Have you seen the automatic Juki buttonhole? Donna, this is what Donna was saying. Have you seen the automatic Juki buttonhole attachment? It's awesome. I just saw it on Rose City Quilts. Pretty pricey. I don't make shirts anymore, but I would definitely consider it if I did. No, I didn't. Will it work on the straight stitch only machines? That would be my question. Ian singing, I like flat blocks and I cannot lie. You silly. You got your acorn pen from Amazon. Also have an Amazon link that you could use. Probably like search around, find what the best deal is for you. And if I have an affiliate link for it, please consider using it. Okay, nothing like a pharmacy changing a script from liquid to pills for a child that can't swallow pills. Her pediatrician chewed them out big time. Oh, Jackie, I am so sorry. Zoe had to take she had a prescription a few years ago, and they gave us the pill version instead of the liquid, and I was so nervous that she wasn't going to be able to take it. She took it like a champ. She was like, I was terrified of swallowing pills when I was a kid. I think I was like 13 or 14 before I finally actually like would swallow a Tylenol. I was always afraid of choking on it. And even now I have problems with like taking my multivitamins and stuff. I'm afraid that I will choke on it. So, yeah. But I do, and it works through. Hello, Pat Boo. Joyce says, if you use the pen on unstarched fabric, will the fabric draw up any? Anytime you add moisture to fabric that has not been washed, the fabric will draw up a little bit. However, when I add it to just the seam. I'm not adding it to the whole block. So if it draws up, it's going to draw up on the seam at the back and it's going to be fine. Your block's going to be okay. When do I use this? When does this come into play since we're talking about this? This tool, this notion is best used in situations where you cannot or don't want to apply starch to the entire piece of fabric or the entire block that you're working on. And there are real instances where that happens. First instance is the puzzle mystery quilts from Cotton Cuts. The fabric that you get in those kits are die cut, and the fabric is not pre-washed, nor is it starched or treated with any sizing before they cut it. So as a result, you don't want to introduce steam, starch, or anything to that entire piece of die cut fabric because you're going to change the dimensions on it. You will have the fabric shrink on the two sides that were parallel to the selvages, even just a few threads. It happens, it happens, it happens. I promise you it happens. And it will not stretch on the two sides where you cut your yardage. So if you had, for example, a 5-inch square and you apply starch to it and then press it, and it was not pre-washed, when you're done pressing, one way is going to be 5 inches, the other way is going to be like 4 7/8. Obviously, that's not a huge difference. You can make it up in seam allowance if you're really diligent, but if you do that enough times over the course of a fabric or over the course of your seam, you can start having some issues. So don't starch. The other area where this comes into play is foundation paper piecing, because when you're building out a foundation paper piece block, you have the paper on the back. And if you add moisture to the fabric, you spritz it with starch from the front, the paper at the back is going to be jeopardized. It's going to get wet. It's going to be a mess. It's not advisable. So I use this because applying moisture, starch, whatever to your seams will help get those really thick seams a little bit flatter. So my rule is I apply this to the seam, the hot iron, and then the clapper on top, and my seams, even the bulky ones, get really nice and flat as they're going to get. Now that you have done a bunch of pressing on that starch on your seams, are you going to clean up your iron so it doesn't build up again? Not tonight, but yes, I need to do a better job of cleaning my iron, Linda, sorry. As I was explaining at the beginning of the live stream, for those that missed it, I had an ironing kerfuddle. I had been using those iron sheets, the cleaning sheets, you know, they look like dryer sheets. You put them on a pressing board and you just kind of do this thing. But what I wasn't doing is the thing that Tiffany talks about. She has a whole video on how to clean your iron with white vinegar and baking soda. I had not been cleaning the lip, right? I had not been cleaning around here. I'd just been cleaning the sole plate, and I had a lot of buildup on the sides. And I feel like stuff was getting up in the sole plate. It was definitely getting on the side, and I was having some issues with my iron because I wasn't cleaning it properly, nor was I cleaning it frequently enough. So I need to do a better job of cleaning my iron. I have to clean my machine. I need to clean my iron too. In fact, I have it in my head that when Tiffany comes, we're going to give all of my irons a nice deep clean, because it probably still isn't as clean as it needs to be. Lily says, when I was little, my mom would crush pills and mix it in applesauce so I could swallow it. To this day, applesauce equals medicine. My mom did the same thing for me too. Whenever I was sick, I would have applesauce and buttered toast. And if I couldn't stomach, the other staple was chicken bouillon. Chicken bouillon. That's what I ate. But she would take an aspirin capsule or whatever and chew it, crunch it up, and put it in the applesauce, and I'd eat it. I never even knew. What size are the plastic bins you have your fabric in? They're the 8.5 by 11. I have a link to those exact ones, the ones with the blue handles back there, here. I have a link to those on my website. If you go to sewbecca.com, up at the top it says about, and then you go down to, I think, my equipment, something like that. You'll have a link to those. But if you're talking about these over here that have my fat quarters and charm packs in, those are the medium bright idea bins from Target. Nancy says, I won a Juki DX 4000 2 months ago from So Yeah, and now I'm always ordering fabric. My husband goes to the mailbox and he says, how many packages of fabric am I going to find today? Awesome, congratulations. I got my Juki from So Yeah too. Quite pleased with it. I hope you love yours. Applesauce or jelly, Jessica saying, I absolutely love that iron. I do too. I love this iron, and I'm sad because I feel like these are hard to come by now. And I don't know if it's just because they're not making them anymore, or they're making them and they're selling out of them. I don't know, but I love that iron. Highly recommend. Good to know. I learned something every time I watch you. Thank you, Joyce. Cheryl says, Donna, I have a question. What size baby quilts do they need to be? Okay, so Cheryl and Donna are talking about baby quilts. I'm a Brother fan. I have the big one for my Gracie frame and a small one for my piecing, Linny is saying. I started off with a Brother sewing machine. The Acorn pen made my mini iron dirty. I used Mr. Clean magic eraser to clean it. Cool. Jackie says, your light for the light you use for hand sewing, do you know it by brand, and does it have a magnifying glass? No, I don't know it by brand, but I will tell you that it is U-shaped and it has like gooseneck, so you can adjust either side, and it's just literally 2 lights just sit around your neck. Awesome. Well, it is 9:30 and I want to know what you guys have been working on. So I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell. We're going to hop over into the Facebook group and I'm going to share with everybody the projects that you've been working on over the course of this week. So if you want the world to see what you've been doing, now's the time to post your picture. I'm going to go refill my water cup, and when I come back, we'll get into the Facebook group and see what you guys have been working on. So, intermission time. Get up and stretch your legs. I'll see you in a minute. All right, we're back. Let's do some show and tell. So I've got the Facebook group loaded. We're just going to go through and see what you guys have been posting. I don't know why it still tells me that I have 2 new member requests when there's nobody sitting in there. I'm just going to refresh the page and maybe that'll go away. I'm wondering if one of my other moderators got it for me. Thank you so much. We're going to change this to new post so that we see the newest first. All right, so this is from Lucy. She said this is going to be a pillow. Me and Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Ireland, Missoula, November 22nd, 2023. Carol says, look what came in. My sweet husband is putting it together for me. I'm so excited, Carol. Finally, everything's up. You're ready to go. Brenda Ogden says, I finally finished my Yellow Rose of Texas quilt. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Oh, wow. Very pretty. Jenny says, 2024 is the year of finishing UFOs. Yes! Get it, Jenny. Yes. And this is a quilt that she's shared with us. My goal is to finish all 18 of my work in progress / UFOs this year. I have 18 of them. And that's everything that needs to be pieced and or quilted. So we're going to get them done. Carolyn Wilson is sharing this beautiful block. Love it. Dina? Is it Dina? Progress so far on the blue jean quilt as you go. Let's open this up and we'll take a closer look at how those blocks are coming together. Awesome. I like that you retained some of the pockets. That's fun. Claudia Simpson says, my floor after cutting out my next project. Oh my goodness. I can totally relate to that. And also, does anybody else just find the beauty in all the different colors that are here? I can't wait to see what quilt you have. Like, I would make that my background. I think that's great. Annette Dombrowski says, Becca, you talked about Quilt As You Go on your live tonight. This is my first Quilt As You Go quilt for my granddaughter. I also appliqued many of the squares too. I did quilt in the ditch and it is lovely. Let's take a closer look at that quilt. Good night, Geraldine. Oh, awesome. Yeah, see that yeah, okay. I'm getting ideas. I'm getting ideas. Also, beautiful granddaughter. Lori says, my favorite snips for rag quilts. They are better for my hands than the Fiskars. So these are also spring action snips. $27. Looks like last item available, so they only have one. I will keep my eye on that. Thank you for that. Claudia Simpson says, on this cold, snowy day, I got to sit under a quilt, and I get to sit under a quilt that I am doing and seam rip out all the quilting I did. I dislike mistakes. Terry says, lots of blocks this week with many HSTs. I think I am over it. Back to bag making for a while. That's the Julia bag by So Many Creations. It is so pretty in person. So these are the blocks that she's worked on. Oh, Dresden. We haven't done a Dresden. We should do a Dresden. Thank you, Misfit Crafter, for subscribing. Oh, there goes my eye twitching again. Wasn't it doing that last week too? Oh, Susan Gabriel, I thought I would share my pixelated Jeep quilt. I love it. Joyce Tucker says, I took a break from organizing and made a wall hanging for the bathroom. Oh, that's a good idea. We have walls in our bathroom that are bathrooms that are empty. We still have walls in our home that need artwork. And I keep thinking about, what am I going to do in the bathroom? Well, I could make a wall quilt. Duh. Anyway, Joyce says, my grandma always said, can't died in the outhouse. Just a little reminder to always try. Also making strip blocks for fun. That's cute. Ginger has spring-loaded rag scissors, and I had a 50% coupon for Joanne when I got them. Great for regular cutting as well, Christine is saying. Michelle says, I made a vision board tonight. I still want to add a few embellishments. I've not made a vision board before, but I um, I was thinking about making one. A vision board for some of the videos I want to make, a vision board for the quilts that I want to do. Oh, look, I recognize that sticker. That's for me. Yay. Love it. I think you like coffee. Coffees and quilts. Oh, Jessica. Mystery quilt along from Stitch in Heaven with Rob and Tiffany. Loving this project. That's so beautiful. Um, is that put together? Oh gosh, should I point it out? Should I? Wait, is it? Oh, yeah. One, two, three. Wait. Now I'm like, is that intentional? Is that the way it's supposed to be? I think that's no. No. Okay. It's just two blocks. Okay. I won't. I'm not going to point it out, but I see something that I'm just going to move on. But it's a beautiful quilt. Yvette Hartso says, just getting ready to sew the binding on. This is from the Open Gates quilt box. Awesome. Tanya says, found another piece. I want to give it to you in person when you come my way. Okay, sounds good. I do have that scrap fabric still. I haven't turned it into the ornament yet, but I will. Yes, my eye was twitching last week too. Oh my gosh. Rhonda Smith is working on 2 baby quilts using the colors they asked for. Bargellos. I have 2 jelly rolls, black, red, and gray batiks. They're the same line. And I purposely have those set aside to make a Bargello out of them because I think it's going to be gorgeous. Jessica says, I see it now. No, it's not put together 100%. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just kept going. Christine Houghton says, I finished this sofa throw just before Christmas. My own design. Also working on this quilt pattern from Jenny of Missouri Star. Susan says, my completed Autumn Wonders quilt. This is a Pat Sloan pattern. I think the rule is if the quilt is finished and you see the mistake, don't point it out. But if it's not put together yet and you see a mistake, maybe it's okay to say. I don't know. I don't want to come across as the quilting police on that, but it just jumped out at me. Beautiful. I really do like that. The colors on, was it a kit or did you pull your own fabric from it? Okay, that's it. That's all we got. Awesome. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Looks like Joyce Hernandez is taking off for the night. Good night. Katrina says, I've been babysitting my son's dog. She went home with them yesterday. He, for some reason, thinks that the dog is coming back to my house. She had me up every 2 hours every night, worse than a baby. Listen, I have a friend at work who is now, he and his wife are expecting a baby. And a few years ago, he adopted a German Shepherd and raised the puppy, did all the things with him. And he kept saying, as a single man in his 20s often would say, that dogs are just as hard to take care of than babies. I don't subscribe to that theory. Are dogs a lot of work? Yes. Especially when they're puppies. but I think the human takes a little bit more work. Maybe not on day one, but I think kids are a little bit more work. Let me know in the chat what you think. Amy says, funny you say that. I bought one of them, loved it, and immediately bought another because I always, oh, you're talking about the other thing. Got it. Susan says, I cleaned my iron just to get rid of the stuff on the lip of my iron just the other day. I cleaned my bobbin case area where it sits, changed my needle and rotary blade. Yeah, that lip has got a lot of buildup on it. And I think I need to do the vinegar and the baking soda trick to really get everything out. Susan says, since we have bitter cold weather, staying in and working on a couple of quilts tomorrow. Woohoo! Joy says, when you did the Hemingway pouch, you mentioned another pouch. What was the name? It is the Holland pouch, and I have a tutorial for that I am going to drop in February. So if you want to know a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, one of the things that I have been trying to do on the first of every month is I send out a newsletter to my VIPs, letting them know what live streams I have planned for the month and what video topics I've got targeted for that month. And so my VIP members already know some of this. I will share with you. Let me get into my, there we go. I'm going to get to my calendar here. So there's a couple of videos that you can look for from me in the next coming weeks. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be live on this channel with Donna working on month number 3 for Sewology. On Monday, the 15th, I will be live with Tiffany on this channel working on Lisa the Unicorn, which is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. I still have to pull my fabric for that. And then on Wednesday, the 17th, I'm going to show you a tutorial for some placemats that I'm going to make for our own dining room table using a special kind of fabric that I think is going to be genius. Excuse me. Of course, we have our live streams the next 2 Fridays, and both of those Fridays, I'll probably just continue working on my own personal projects and take you along for the journey with me. I have a tech tip video that I'm going to upload on the 24th. We'll see how that series does, if this is something that resonates with you. And then on the 31st, I'm going to do a studio tour. I have a studio tour video out there already. Once my sewing room was done, I brought you in and showed you the space, but so much has changed over the past couple of years. In this video, I want to show you my updated space and talk about the things that I changed over the past couple of years. And if I had to do it again, what would I do differently? So you'll want to make sure you mark your calendar for that. That's targeted for the 31st. So those are the videos that I'm working on over the lots of live streams, working on a placemat tutorial that's going to come out next week, a tech tip video that'll come out on the 24th, and a studio tour that I'm targeting for the 31st. So does your VIP group have an annual payment option? Yes, Christine, it actually does. So if you join the VIP group, you have 2 payment methods. You can choose to pay monthly, which is $5 a month, just $5 a month. But if you choose to pay for the whole year up front, it is $55 instead of $60. So I give you 12 months for the price of $11. For the VIP membership, you're going to get access to any of my downloads or patterns that are available in my Etsy shop for free over on my website. You just log into sewbecca.com and there will be a VIP downloads page in the VIP section. And everything that I have in my Etsy shop is a PDF you can download for free over there. Our birthdays are coming up, Debbie. Yes, they are. The other thing that you'll get is once a month on the final Sunday, usually the final Sunday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., we do a Zoom sew-in. So you get to hang out with me and other VIP members. Now, I do want to say that Zoom sew-in, that Zoom session is also open to anybody that is a channel member right here in the channel. So if your name is green in the chat, that's because you support my channel. That is separate and apart from my VIP membership on my website. But those Zoom links are also shared with the channel members. So you don't have to be on both to join the Zoom. You can just be over here supporting the channel this way. Once a quarter, we're skipping January though because of the holidays and everything going on, but once a quarter I also do a weekend retreat where we do a project together. I walk you through it start to finish or find somebody else to walk you through a wonderful project start to finish. And we usually do those Saturday and Sunday, come as you please, and sew for the whole weekend. And I think that's pretty much it. That's what you get for your $5 a month. Honestly, the downloads to me make it worthwhile. I was selling my patterns for $5 a pop on my website, but I want to get those in front of more market, not just my YouTube audience. And so I moved them over to Etsy, and I've adopted the pricing structure that others seem to have. $10 for a PDF download, $3.50 for, which was the same price I think I had on my website, for my FPP postcard templates. I don't have very many patterns right now, but I do enjoy making them, and I will continue to add to that. So that library is going to grow. I can't promise how frequently I'm going to publish one because it takes time, but I do like to do a few a year. So you'll get them over there. Lily says, I can't remember when my membership expires. I feel like it's coming up. How can I find out? If you go into log into the website and you go to your account information, it should have it there. But if you want to email me, I can check it out for you too. I have a new email address that I would love for you guys to use if you're trying to reach into us. This is just kind of like a generic help email address that I can use to kind of sort through. So info@sebecca.com, info@SEWBECCA.com. Send your email over there and we'll get somebody to look at that for you. Severe weather is coming in a couple of days. Perfect for sewing. Yes. When is the Cotton Cuts reveal going to happen? Joan wants to know. Great question. Don't have the answer for that. I did get a shipping notification. I believe my Puzzle Mystery Quilt contents for Tree of Life have been shipped. I should get them shortly, but I don't know how Ian wants to handle the reveal. So let us figure that out. I was going to wait to do it until the live stream when I open the box, but I don't know if I want to do that. I've got a couple ideas for a fun collab where we can open our colorways together and share that experience with you. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. As soon as I know, I will let you know. Hello, Randy. Welcome to the live stream. And she always says, wow, a couple of years already. It doesn't seem like it. Right? Right? Misfit Crafter said, I just finished UFO number 2 for the month. I have 6 more to go. You can do it. I've got 18. Debbie, is your birthday the same day as mine? Is it on the 4th of February? I'm still giggling at the idea of having flat Beccas hidden at QuiltCon. That's great. I love it. I love it. Anna Noel says, I don't mind it being pointed out. Then if it's not fully together, it's still the quilter's decision. They don't have to fix it if they don't want to. That's true. That's true. All right. It sounds like, oh, wait, what is the recipe for vinegar and baking soda? Janny, definitely go check out Tiffany's video. I'll put it in the description box down below. After the video processes, I'll try to remember all the links that I promised you. So I'll put them in there if you want to come back and get them. But you can also just look up Cleaning Iron Tiffany's Quilting Life on YouTube. She's got a video where she and Scott take all of her irons into the kitchen and they clean their irons. I think it's 50% white distilled vinegar and 50% baking soda, but I honestly don't know. Go check out her video. The work with kids never ends. The issues just get bigger as they do. Yes. VR says, kid, this is going back to the conversation we had earlier. Kids are a lot more commitment and cost a heck of a lot more than dogs. Although my last dog who passed away in September last year, I spoiled him a lot. His name was Samson. Wait a minute, you guys. Barb, wait a minute. How many people are sharing my birthday? Amy Zeller's birthday is February 4th. Barbara is February 4th. Awesome. Birthday twins. Did I tell you guys what happened with our puppies? I don't know if I did. So I'll tell you this story and then we'll wrap it up for the night and you guys can go hang out with Donna. So a couple of weeks ago, no, it was just last week. It was last week. I was at work on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I was at work one of the days last week. And it's about 3:30 and Jason called. I answered the phone. He said, he said, I see you're on your way home. I just wanted to talk to you really quick. And I said, no, I'm still at the office. He's like, oh, well, it looked like you were on your way home. That's why he was calling, because he thought I was on my way home. He said, I just want to let you know when you come home, be careful coming up the driveway because the dogs got out. Yeah. It's at 3:30 in the afternoon. And he said at 11 a.m. they got out. We have a dog run that's built off of our deck in the backyard, and we have a gate that we kind of prop up and put some weight behind that closes off the deck from the rest of the woods and the yard and all that other stuff. So they have plenty area to play in. Well, he had let them out and went upstairs to check on his mom. And when he came back downstairs, they were gone. Apparently, that gate on the deck had not been closed completely. So they nudged their way out and went exploring. And they had been gone all day. He said he went outside walking through the woods calling them. We have a bell that we ring that trains them to come back to the house if they get out. It's also the bell that we ring when we tell them that it's time to go outside. It's a whole training thing. They weren't coming to the bell. He couldn't hear them. He didn't see them. They weren't responding to the bell. He didn't know where they were. So he went driving around the neighborhood behind us. Didn't see him. Didn't hear him, didn't really see anybody there either. He went and got Zoe, brought her home, and told her that the dogs got out. And I don't know exactly what he said to her, but my mom said that she could hear Zoe wailing in the basement. She was so upset. And apparently she went out back with the bell. This breaks my heart. She went out back with the bell, sat on the deck, just ringing the bell over and over again and crying for them to come back. You guys, if that doesn't pull at a mama and a papa's heartstrings, I don't know what does. Jason couldn't take how sad she looked, so he loaded her up in the car, took her out to the neighborhood behind us. They rolled down the windows and they were ringing the bell. And they're going slow. And if they see anybody, they were asking, have you seen two little puppies? And just as they were leaving the subdivision, they passed one of the houses on the way out. And this lady was walking a dog. And he slowed down and said, you wouldn't by chance have seen two little puppies? And she said, well, I just happen to have two little puppies. You guys, this neighbor, I forgot her name, but this neighbor saw the dogs. They came out of our yard and went that way and kept going. She saw the puppies and she took them in. It was very cold that day. She took them inside and was like, they were thriving. And they are microchipped. Our pups are microchipped, but they don't wear collars. So they didn't have a tag. So she was planning that evening to take them to the vet and have them scanned so that she could get them returned to their owner. She just didn't have a chance to get them up yet to the vet. So Jason was like, okay, well, let me see if they're mine. So they go up the driveway. Akumu and Beetlejuice are in the home. Zoe was so disappointed. Like she was pessimistic all the way up the driveway. She was like, it's not going to be our dogs. It's not going to be our dogs. And we went in and they were both there. It's hilarious. Beetlejuice is so adventurous. So Beetlejuice, I think in my head, what happened was Beetlejuice was like, let's go explore. And he took off running. And Akumu was like, okay, wait for me. The lady that took the puppies in said Akumu was terrified. He was so scared he pooped himself. When Jason walked in, they were giving Akumu a bath. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And the next day, Akumu was super clingy. In fact, he's been clingy ever since. Super, super clingy. He wants to be wherever we are, and he whines and whimpers. He still plays with Beetlejuice, but I don't think Akumu left the yard with the intention to run away. I think Akumu left the yard chasing after Beetlejuice because that's his buddy and he wanted to play with Beetlejuice and he thought they were going to play. And Beetlejuice was just like, I'm out! So they are both found. They are both safe. But for a minute there, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I did learn some fun things though. There are websites out there where you can report your pet lost or a found pet, and they are dedicated to reconnecting the pets with their owners. So I alerted them, I alerted the vet, I alerted the animal control, the animal shelter, all the things. I put all of the things into motion about 5 minutes after Jason called. And when I got in the car and started driving home, I left the parking lot. It was like 4 o'clock, so like half an hour after Jason called. He's like, "We got the pups back," and he told me the story of where they were. So I then had to reverse all of those wheels I set in motion. But to me, it was definitely worth it, right? Because what if they wouldn't have been in like? What if? I'll take that any day of the week. So all that to say, those pups are very much loved. We really like they're loved. They're loved. Zoe's very attached to them. Zoe has had I don't know the right term to put on it, but she has difficulty processing her emotions sometimes and opening up to other people. And both of these puppies have been a form of therapy for her, an emotional support kind of animal, although they're not certified that way. And it has really helped her kind of come out of her shell, thrive, and just blossom. Yeah, like, I love that. I love it. Great dogs. But we're reinforcing that gate so they can't get out again. So that's my story about the puppies. I don't know why I brought it up. I think we were talking about dogs in the chat, and I wanted to tell you that the pups got out, but we did rescue them. So that's all I've got for today. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Donna's live over on her channel. I'm going to grab the link for you in just a second, and I'm going to spam it into the chat. So if you're looking for somewhere else to go and you want to continue the party, ride the train over to Donna's. When this live ends, it'll automatically dump you out over there. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.